The keys to a very satisfied, loyal, frequent user promoter customers are to have the business model designed around customers, and therefore you have to measure it. So you'd start out by saying, here's how many customers we have, here's what our retention is, here's what our satisfaction level is, and here's where we want it to be, and how do we design that? And we have to have people who love to implement the experience. And we have to assume, because it is in fact the case, that part-time minimum wage people are good workers. Like, for instance, I don't know how many of us were born with never having to work because we all had enough money. But if I asked you, how many of you started out working part-time or for minimum wage? And I'd go, did anybody else besides me? Okay. And you go, and you would have considered yourself to be a good employee. And what made you good or not good was a combination of who you were as a person and the way your boss treated you. Because if your boss didn't treat you well, you might or might not have taken it out on other people. Hence the terrible YouTube video on the pizza. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you not look at it. About what a disgruntled employee does with a pizza for a customer. If you want to look it up on YouTube, you can. Or what the YouTube video ends up with the airlines that wrecked the guy's guitar, and what he did with United Airlines over that, because they just kept ignoring him. So anyway, then we get into how social media can affect branding. Now, here's this word engaged again. Now, I want you, right in the middle of this, to have well-trained managers and franchisees that know how to select. Notice the word is select and not hire. The verbs are very important and communicate. We're going to hire 20 people. We're going to select 20 people. And know how to orient. Orient means turn toward. And when you orient somebody, you turn them toward the way you want them to believe and think. Okay, this is your culture. Manage, lead, and coach team members to be engaged. Okay. Remember what I said about the word engagement? It's when you are engaged. I remember when Pam and I got married. Pam and I had both been through marriages that ended in divorce. And my wife Pam had ran Carlson Travel, and the year that she resigned to marry me, God knows why, that was the volume she did that year was $3.5 billion in travel dollars, and so she knew how to run a really good organization, but her marriage failed. And I, of course, being a consultant, I could tell you a great consultant joke if we have time to, is I knew how to tell people how to run great businesses, but I also got a divorce. So clearly there was a difference between both of us, between how we could approach business and how we could approach our personal lives. So one of the things that we did was we did profiling and then had somebody examine our two profiles so we could figure out where our stress points were. And another thing we did was to, in our engagement period, we put a mission statement together for our marriage and put core values together and wrote personal goals and goals for we were going to support as a married couple. And that's this 21-year-old who's graduating. I inherited him. He was 5. Because she said, I'm a package deal. And I said, that's unfortunate. You know, because who wanted a 5-year-old? But just kidding. So I said to Pam, when we were engaged, and I said, I just want to ask you if the operating system I'm getting when we're engaged is the one I'm getting when we're married. Because I said, I really like this operating system. Because when you're engaged, it's kind of different. So she assured me it was yes. And I have to say that it's true. But this word engaged is a very important word, and it's well chosen by people in HR and in corporate development, to the point where now, remember those 4 circles: profit and growth, very satisfied and loyal customers, great experiences, and then engaged, the far left, going from right to left. I want to share with you a couple of, you don't have these slides. These are, okay, you just don't, I put these in this morning. But please notice the word fun in fundamentals. Okay? We need to put the fun back in fundamentals. And if you want these, we can have them emailed to you. Engagement of employees, there's this massive amount of research that the Gallup organization and Harvard and Bain and Accenture and McKinsey and the Boston Consulting Group have done with global companies.